Welcome back to the show, everybody. I am super excited to be here with you yet again. We've got another amazing entrepreneur on today. Her name is Daina Gardiner. She's calling in from Nicaragua, although she's from Alberta, Canada. And her business is called the Energized Woman. She helps women overcome hormonal imbalance and works primarily with entrepreneurs. Daina, thank you so much for taking some time and coming on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you. I know we're going to have a ton of fun, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot of great value to share with the audience. So I know they'll have a ton of fun as well. Why don't we dive right in? Tell us a little bit more about your business, who you help, and how you got started in it.
Sure. So, yes, my business is I'm a holistic nutritionist and I help women, primarily women over the age of about 30, overcome hormonal imbalances, but really help women overcome those imbalances so that they can be more energized and focused and productive and feel, good in their body while building their business and still balancing that with life. I got into holistic nutrition because while I was dabbling in natural healing options to fix my own hormonal issues, just some skin issues. But while doing that, it started to help me overcome my own chronic fatigue syndrome. And because I became fascinated that I had energy for the first time in 20 some years, I looked into like how does food actually affect our bodies. So I ended up back at holistic nutrition school when I was about 35 and took off from there and been helping women get to where I am for quite a few years now, 5 or 6 years now.
Excellent. I really love that story. I have one that's similar. Obviously, I'm not dealing with the hormonal imbalance thing, but when I was younger, I went vegan and I went vegan on accident. I just did a cleanse with a friend and like slowly weaned myself off of meat and dairy. And I did it because I started to feel better and have so much more energy. I lost a bunch of weight and I just felt amazing, like for the first time, like you said, in years and years. And to me, no food tasted as good as feeling that good felt. And
Right.
so I just stuck with it. So for a lot of the people who come to you who are experiencing these similar things, not having enough energy, having fatigue, can you tell us how that plays out in their life and in their business?
So a lot of them are struggling to just get out of bed in the morning. And as online entrepreneurs, we don't have that corporate schedule that we're supposed to be in the office at 8 a.m. We are running our own show. And so it's very easy to turn the alarm off and go back to sleep. So a lot of women struggle with that. And then they get frustrated, and that adds more stress and exhaustion because they don't start their day till 10 o'clock. And then often they do have kids. So kids are coming home mid-afternoon and they feel like they've wasted their day. I do have some clients that tell me that they have really high hopes for their day to get a lot done. They get up at a decent hour, get settled, work for a few hours, and then they find themselves sitting and staring at the wall for 2 hours in the afternoon, procrastinating. They're not getting things done. I know some clients too, they get annoyed with themselves because part of the month they have so little energy and so little focus that they feel like they've lost their momentum through to create the projects and to create the marketing campaigns and to create all the activities that they need for their business. So that really it's defeating for them almost. Like I can't stay consistent and I can't stay on top of my schedule or common complaints.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs actually deal with, like you said, especially the home-based ones, the online ones, because it is real easy to get distracted when you're at home, to do something else. And then, like you said, you can start the day with the highest hopes and the biggest to-do list. And then it's 3 hours later and you feel I've checked social media, sent some emails, and had breakfast. And where did the day go? And now how am I going to get anything done? And then you do feel defeated and you want to give up.
Right.
So when women come to you, what is the process of working with you like? So they come to you because they're low on energy, they want to get that back. What do you tell them? How do you work with them?
The very first thing that I do with clients is I run them through what my holistic health assessment to pinpoint how they're doing on various symptoms. How do you feel? Does this happen to you often? It only takes 10 to 15 minutes of their time to fill out. And then I take that information and correlate it for myself to then share with them on a call. And I love for them to share with me as much as they can on their history. We might go back as early as puberty to talk about how things were then, just because everything matters. And a lot of women have symptoms of hormonal imbalances in puberty or in their teenage years that never got rectified and now have created these big problems in their 30s and 40s. So I like to really dig in and ask questions and basically make sure they feel heard and that they're able to share as much information as they feel is relevant and they're confident and comfortable sharing. And from that information that they share and from the health assessment data, I uncover and have this ability to look at like the really deep imbalances behind the symptoms and give them a root cause perspective, a root cause gap analysis, tell them like, here's the body systems that are out of balance, here's your personal nutrient deficiencies, and then we tie those two together with a personalized holistic wellness plan. You might get some food additions, some exercise movements, some self-care, depending on the person. We touch on is a little bit of everything when it comes to like physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual for their plan.
Gotcha. Now, let me ask you, how much of that do you think or do you find is related specifically to nutrition and people's diets? Because I know as my mind has opened up about this and I've learned more and more, it horrifies me to think of what I used to eat and how. And I can see how I was basically like slowly poisoning myself. And our food system is awful. And you really have to go out of your way to make sure you eat well and you're doing right. My stepkids like have nightmares about the seed oil monster. It's pretty funny. But for your clients, what would you say? What percentage of it is diet and how does that factor?
Percentage wise, probably 80% of it is diet. And my clients, most of them are already pretty health conscious, pretty healthy eaters. But when I do that assessment for them, I am uncover nutrient gaps, nutrient deficiencies, nutrients they'd never even heard of. Like when we talk about energy, most people are aware of iron and vitamin B12, magnesium today. But what I'm seeing is like not enough protein, maybe not enough fiber, poor digestion is related to that as well. So looking at that, but yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, as far as your own journey, can you explain how all of this and all these changes you made in your own life have spurred you forward in your life and business?
Big one was getting my energy back, just reignited passion for life. I used to be in IT. I used to be in cybersecurity. And when I was in cybersecurity, I got really interested in nutrition. That's when I was fixing my own health. And it just drove me to quit my IT career and learn all about nutrition and figure out the ways to help women conquer their own symptoms. It's helped me stay on top of my own schedule a lot. I feel almost guilty in some circles when I'm on coaching calls with other business owners where these women are telling me stories about being unable to keep up with their schedule, keeping the cyclical fatigue every month. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't have that anymore. That's not even a roadblock for my work anymore because I know how to fuel my body and I can help other women get there to the point where we can feel energized all month long. We can feel focused and successful all month long, and our hormones don't need to be running the show anymore.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I think that we've gotten so used to not being well, having health concerns, and all of these things, and we weren't built for that. We are made to be healthy and to thrive, but if you're not putting the right inputs in, you're not going to get the output that you want.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, when you work with women, this sounds very individualized because, of course, everybody has their own way of eating, their own amount of exercise they do, and stuff like that. Do you work primarily or exclusively one-on-one, or do you have a group component, or what does that look like?
I'd say it's about 50-50. I do have both. The one-on-one, we do get to go quite a bit deeper into that very deep personalized level. But I have some group programs that have had good success created based on multiple one-on-one clients and kind of the patterns that I've seen to help women move through the process of rebalancing their hormones and optimizing health in the right flow pathway.
Gotcha. And as you're working with your clients and are going through this process, what do you find is usually the biggest challenge for them?
Not relying on supplements is a huge one. I supplements have a time and a place, but that's not the first avenue of health. So not taking out your supplements and less focusing on food is one challenge. Giving up certain foods, bread, cheese, These are very pro-inflammatory foods. And so having worked with one-on-one clients for so long, I've learned that when we remove these foods, the results are so much faster. And so all you need to do is remove them for at least 6 months, maybe, and then go from there. It's not forever, but it does have to happen. And that's when we get the fastest results. So little things like that, like removing those like comfort foods, those favorite foods. A lot of my clients, when they do remove those foods, like you said earlier, realize how good they feel without them. And so they no longer want them going forward. But that's a huge hump to get
Yeah.
over.
All of those make a lot of sense to me. The first part, we're like a magic pill society these days, right? People are just like, I want to choose something down, swallow it down real quick, and make all my problems go away. And that's really not the way it works, especially for supplements. I think most people don't realize a lot of those vitamins and stuff that you take, you don't even keep most of that, right? You pass a lot of that through your system, and sometimes it's just a big waste of money more than anything. And if you're eating a wide and varied diet, you're going to get most of all of the things you need in it. And
Yeah.
then the second part is really true too. I know from my own journey and helping other people to become vegetarian and vegan that giving up foods that they are used to, that they have emotional and cultural attachments to, and in some cases with like cheese, certifiably a drug as far as I'm concerned, with the hormones and whatnot in it, it's
Yeah,
addictive. And
it
so
is.
it can definitely be a challenge to get rid of those things. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Now, Dana, I want to ask you a few more questions about the business itself and the financials. So, before you went into business for yourself, what was your knowledge about finance? Did you get any training? Did you learn anything in school from your parents, anything like that?
I learned how to create a budget and do the books at the end of the month. I grew up on a farm, so I helped with the books at the end of the month for that. So a little bit of budgeting. I learned don't create credit card debt. Like my parents were very focused on don't create debt. So that was how I was taught to approach money. But other than that, no, nothing. Just I got my paycheck. I spent my money. I got another one.
Yeah, that's the story for so many people. And that's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this work, because if I had known the stuff I know now 20 years ago, my life would be completely different. And now I have the opportunity, especially to share that with younger people so that they don't have to be 30 or 40 or 50 and be like, oh, I didn't start saving for retirement. I don't have any assets. I've spent every single dollar I've ever touched.
Mhm.
But yeah, we just aren't given that growing up. But even what you got on the farm sounds like a lot more than what most people have. A good step at least. And then people go into business because usually they find something they think they're going to make money at. They find something they like to do and are passionate about. They want to help people. Most people don't go into business because they're awesome with business finance. And then it's just one of those things you have to pick up along the way. So as you've been learning business finance throughout the course of your entrepreneurial journey, what would you say your biggest financial challenge has been in the business?
Probably one of the biggest ones is like the finding the clients to earn the money. It's tough out there, marketing and sales. I didn't realize how much of my time would be spent marketing and selling myself and creating new ways to say the same message, dancing in front of my camera and all those things.
Yeah, lead generation, like you said, especially is so important. And it's the kind of thing where you can't ever stop, because the moment you stop, that pipeline stops filling. And then it's, oh, it's been 2 months and I haven't done sales calls or had a client, and what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest challenges for most people. So I'm sure a lot of our listeners can relate to that. Now, I want you to imagine your business as a garden hose, and a hose as can kink over itself, and that'll cut off the flow of the water. So if the water is money coming into your business, what's the biggest kink in your hose right now that's stopping more and more money from coming in?
It's audience growth, getting in front of the right audience for me right now.
And what are you doing to do that?
I have been doing social media marketing is my big one, like organic marketing through social media. I have recently collaborations, joined a couple of bundles, health bundles, business coaching bundles to reach more people, which was, I think, quite successful. So that's been good. Getting on podcasts has been something I've been trying to do for the last 8 or 9 months and enjoying that. I'm not quite back to feeling comfortable with Facebook ads yet. I did try that for a few years and I didn't really see anything. I saw the growth in my audience, but it wasn't what we would call quality leads that were brought into my world. So I felt burned by that. And maybe I had a bad strategy. Maybe I was given a bad strategy.
I think that Facebook ads have changed so much that for a lot of people, they have very similar experiences. I've talked to people who have dropped hundreds of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads and gotten zero return.
Yeah.
So it's a very competitive thing. You have to do it really right. And they're very big sticklers about what you can say and what you can't. That for a
Yeah.
lot of people, like you said, you might get a lot of follows and likes and stuff, but if that's not converting into a return on your investment, it's not necessarily a good place to be putting your money.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
So,
now I want to ask you, what is your biggest financial goal, both personally and in the business?
ooh, in the business, I want to hit my pre-IT or my IT career income was. So I'd love to hit just 160,000 a year. And just because I think that would be good for my lifestyle now, living down here, it would be more than enough to sustain that. I would, for my personal, I would love to find land somewhere warm, maybe not in Nicaragua because it's quite hot, with a view of the water and build a house. And I'd love to be able to buy my parents' cabin back in Manitoba, Canada, so that they can have the money that they need from it to retire and then we keep it in the family. It's one of my favorite places to be. As in the summer as a child, I grew up there, kind of sentimental. I'd love to keep it.
Excellent. I love those goals. I can really relate to wanting to live somewhere warm near the beach. That's definitely
Yeah.
my goal with my partner, and taking care of your family is so important as well. Now, I want you to dig in a little bit to what financial freedom looks like for you. So let's say you're bringing in that 160,000 or more. You've got all the money coming in every year. You need to take care of everything you want to do. You've freed up some of your time. You don't have to be as active in the business if you don't want. What are you going to do with your time then?
I want to open a cat shelter slash cat hotel somewhere like here, like wherever I end up living, because stray animals, especially kittens, are so prominent down here. It's hard to get them adopted. It's hard to stop them being brewed. But just having some place safe for them that people can come and hang out with them, as well as so that they get a bit of a good life in my cafe. And it's a gap in this country that we found. Those of us that have cats, if we go away, there's nobody that can take care of them for us. So having a little like cat hotel would be beneficial to those of us that would like it.
I absolutely love that. And I'm in the same spot as you are right now. We are spending some extended time away from Florida, where we call home. And we were originally planning to do some international travel. And as you probably know, trying to travel out of the country with cats is both costly and very difficult, especially depending on where you're going, to the point that like it's stopped us from going a couple of places because you either just can't take them or like it's so prohibitively expensive and you need so much paperwork.
Exactly.
I can't wait for you to open that. I will definitely come down and check it out because I
Okay,
love to come. Okay, now, Dana, do you have a written financial plan? And if so, what does that look like? Or if not, when money comes into the business, how do you decide where to allocate it?
I do not have a written business plan or financial plan. When it comes in, the first little bit first goes to bills, paying the bills. I don't like to hold debts in my credit cards or anything. Second would be I pay myself what I need. And then whatever's left over, I will usually it's reinvesting in the business, typically with coaching for myself to improve my skills, and then sometimes assets. But I think I'm at a point right now where I don't need too many more like actual physical assets. So the coaching is where most of my extra go.
Yeah, and that's, I think, very important, especially for entrepreneurs and that sort of thing. Even for employees, anytime you can up level your skill set and increase the amount of money you're bringing in, it's going to bring you a lot closer to achieving financial freedom faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, before I do let you go, for anybody who wants to find out more about what you do, where can they go for that?
I'm on Instagram at the.energized.woman. I have a website, theenergizedwoman.com. Those are probably the two best places to start anyway.
And then one last thing, any parting advice or words for other entrepreneurs out there you'd like to share?
Well, I was thinking about this earlier, and the podcast is Pay Yourself First. And we talk about that in money and financial terms, right? But I just want to remind people that when you pay your health first, put yourself first, health wise, that will be like a reinvestment or investment into your business too. So don't forget to take your vitamins and eat well and be healthy, because we can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah, 100%. And it's true what they say, health is wealth. And you can have $1 billion, but if you're so sick you're going to die tomorrow, it's not going to do you any good. Yep, 100%. Okay, Dana, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute blast.
Thank you. I loved it.
Awesome. And everybody else out there, if you loved it as well and you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe to the podcast, please go do that. You'll get updated anytime we have a new episode out. And you can also leave us one of those 5-star reviews. That helps us out a ton to get the word out to other entrepreneurs. We'll see y'all next time.